a little bit about what we see at the end of Revelation, because I think there's a lot of confusion and people don't necessarily understand where things end up in the end.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a lot of listeners right now, a lot of viewers will be saying, boy, if I could just make things right in the world, when's God going to make things right? And the scripture tells us in Revelation 19 that Jesus Christ is going to return at his second coming. He's going to bring justice and retribution to his enemies. And then scripture says he's going to cast Satan to a bottomless pit for 1,000 years. And then 6 times in Revelation 20, it says there's going to be 1,000-year reign of Jesus Christ on the earth. And Billy, during that time, God's going to reset the world here initially. The God who created the world is the one who can obviously reset the world. And so there's going to be a kingdom of 1,000 years. There's going to be peace, prosperity, righteousness, justice, love, happiness, and most of all, we get to be with God. And I think for every Christian, that is the answer to the prayer, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as is in heaven. So God's going to come. He's going to bring his great reset, but it's going to look a lot different than Satan's.
All right. So last question for you as we dig go back to this book, the great global reset, global reset and current events point to the Antichrist and his worldwide empire. As we talk about that text and everything we just discussed, at the end of the day, what is your hope for the reader?
Yeah, the hope for the reader is, number one, to be informed. Many of Paul's epistles were written to simply inform them about what's happening. The more information that we have about what God says, the more we can process that information. So to be informed. The secondly is to be prepared, is to know what's coming, to understand that I don't believe we're going to go through the time where this global reset is going to happen completely. But at the same time, we need to be prepared for the return of Jesus Christ and realize that the time is short. I mean, we all have a certain limited time on the earth, but we may have a shorter time than we anticipate. So just using the time and making the most of our days and serving the Lord, I tell people faithfulness. And then finally, just anticipate what the Lord's going to do when he comes back, because not only is he going to reset the world, he's going to completely remake and reset us individually. But that doesn't have to wait till the end of time. Each person can connect with God spiritually right now and enjoy their own personal reset. I think that's an important thing to do.
What a great way to close it out.
Which has been a great thing. We have spread the gospel over the planet. I think 90% of the gospel has gone across the planet because of America. And yet America right now, I think, is really committing slow suicide. We're imploding from within, morally, economically, socially, culturally, and just about every other way. It's really darkening times in Western civilization. But to your point,